Good afternoon. I'm so glad I have the pleasure to interview Ms. Carmen Avery tonight. We're discussing the effects that parental involvement have on our students in education. I'm gonna first give her opportunity. I first want to tell her thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me tonight, and I also want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself.
Thank you for having me tonight, Ms. Clark. My name is Carmen Avery Coleman, and I am a mom of two children. I have a middle school age child, and I have an elementary age child, kindergarten and sixth grade. I'm also a professional blogger, and I own a general contracting business here in Alabama. And I spend a lot of my days trying to multitask being a business owner, a mom, and a volunteer.
All right, sounds great. So it seems like you have your hands full, and I know that you do have that background in education, and so that's why I thought that you would be a great participant for this interview. And I just want to start off by asking you, what about your educational background, your years of experience, and the grade levels that you've taught?
Well, I actually have a bachelor's degree. It's an individually designed bachelor's degree from UAB in early childhood elementary education. And it gave me the knowledge of what I wanted to do, which was work with early childhood. I love working with pre-K and first grade, kindergarten. I just feel like I can make an impression on their later years of school by helping them early on in life. And that's always been my passion, working with younger children, the spark that I see in them when I teach them something for the first time. And also I feel like I was gifted to be a natural inspirer. So when I'm able to build their parents up to help them, that drives me, that motivates me. And I still do it in a different way. I don't do it necessarily in the classroom anymore. I do it through my blog and through writing. So that is what my background is in: early childhood elementary education.
Okay, and I heard you say that inspiring, the parents. With
Mhm.
your experience when you was in the classroom, even now with your blogging, how do how's your experience with parental involvement? Was it successful, unsuccessful? How would you explain that?
I think it was half and half. Of course, I did have a few parents who felt like I could give them the insight on how to communicate with their teachers. I shared some of the experiences I had on the side, as a teacher and as a parent. So when I talk to parents, I give them the truth: how to approach a teacher if there's a problem, or how to just approach their teachers when there's not a problem, how to stay in constant communication with their teachers. So I feel like my experience in education, I'm able to communicate with them better because now I'm on the other side as a parent. So
Right.
I feel like I can be a support for teachers because I know how difficult teaching is, but I can also be an advocate for parents because I'm a parent myself. So it's been positive, but I have had some negatives because of course they think that you're just on the teacher side because you know what it no, I'm not just on the teacher side. I'm on the side that's right.
Right. I
Yes.
agree. I agree. So with those parents, how do you know when they're involved in their child's education? What are some things that tell you that they're actively engaged or involved in their child's education?
It's a few things. When I see a parent that takes the time to prepare their child for school every day, that's how I know a parent is involved. And that can be just making sure they get to bed on time at night, making sure that they get to school on time in the morning. When they get up, that they eat a nutritious breakfast, or if they don't have time to prepare breakfast themselves as a busy parent, that they get them to school on time so that they can eat a breakfast. Also making sure that they have school supplies. Those are just things that we have to do as parents, but making sure that they're in constant communication with their teachers about what that child needs, not waiting until report cards come out, to communicate a dissatisfaction about something, but just staying in touch with the teacher, asking, how can I help? Checking homework, asking that child, what do you need help with? Also, just showing your face at the school, showing that showing your child that you support them inside and outside of the school just by being present. Also, they make sure that they find a way to volunteer. I think that's a good thing as well. And that's another thing that I see as a parent who's involved in their child's life. They show up to the PTA meetings. They make sure that they find the resources that children need to help them with a lesson that they may be having trouble with in school. Or they ask the teacher to show them different resources that they can use at home.
Okay, and you kind of answered my next question. First, I want to say that you brought a good point up about making sure the students are prepared and that they have lunch. Breakfast before they go to school. Make sure they get a good night's rest. Sometimes people don't understand that it is part of being a parental environment, because it is important that students have that adequate rest and everything. So that's a good take from that. And like I said, you almost answered the next part of my question was, what are some ideas that can be implemented to promote parental involvement? And I know you said about volunteering and coming into the schools PTA meetings and things of that nature. So is there anything else that you could add to that you may think can be implemented?
Yes. Sometimes you have to give parents incentives, just like you do kids. It doesn't have to be anything big. Actually, I think it's a good idea to give the class an incentive via the parent. So if you have, let's say, a parent teacher meeting or a PTA meeting, whatever, you may say, hey, all of the parents that come to this week's meeting or this month's meeting, this class will get this. The parents will feel good that their children are being celebrated. So they'll show out, they'll show up and come. So sometimes we have to praise parents and encourage them to come. And also, we have to be open to switching meetings up, make it virtual for the working parents who don't work a 9 to 5. Encourage grandparents to come if a parent can't come. Let them know that they're welcome at the school. I think a lot of parents have had bad experiences in school, not necessarily with their own child, but as a student themselves. So when it comes to education, some parents only send their kids to school and support them because it's mandatory by law.
Right.
So I feel like we have to open the doors back up and let them know they're welcome, especially post pan. Well, we're moving away from the pandemic now. I think we're moving in a better step, but let them know that the doors of the schoolhouse are still open. Let them know that they're welcome, and also accommodate their time, because, like I said, not everybody comes from a working family where they work 8 to 5 or something like that. You have some parents who don't go to work until 8 o'clock at night. So if you want them to come to the school, have some morning meetings. Don't always have afternoon meetings. Maybe even have a weekend meeting. You have to kind of almost send out surveys and be willing to accommodate what's being said on the surveys. And then another thing that I thought about recently that I actually suggested to my son's PTA meeting, they were worried about low attendance. And I said, well, we have all of these other events going on. We have basketball night, we have football night. Why not put a PTA meeting on those nights?
Right.
So that when parents hit the door to leave, you say, hey, come on over here. We got snacks, we got refreshments, we got a PTA meeting. We just want you for 15 minutes or whatever. Most parents will go to that other room because they're already there. And they'll know that they've done their commitment for the month for the school. So it's just giving parents different alternatives to the same 5:30, 6 o'clock meeting. That doesn't work for everybody.
Right. And that's good. And I like that you said that, because like you said, with me, I'm a working parent, I'm a teacher, but I also want to be involved in my child's education. And we were at different schools. And so when they had the virtual option for PTA, I was so excited because I was able to attend because it was virtual. So like you said, you have to try to accommodate everyone. And I noticed sometimes they have them early in the morning, like at 7:30, and then they may have them at 11 around lunchtime. So like you said, you have to do different things. It may not be always the same every month. The meetings may not be the same. And a good point about the PTA meetings at the basketball games. I always tell people, you're gonna see parents at these sports events. So that's a great time to get them in those meetings. And so that's I think we're thinking along the same lines. I like that. And I have one final question, and
Okay.
it is, how do parent involvement impact student achievement? How do you, based on what you experienced as a teacher and as a parent, what do you notice about the impact that parental involvement have on student achievement?
I noticed with my son, he's never had a behavior issue, but when he knows mama is coming,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's on his best behavior. I think a lot of children, when they know that mom, dad, grandma, whoever their caretaker is, when they know they care and they know they're involved, they get a self-esteem boost.
Mm-hmm.
They know that the benefits of the things that they have at school has been created by somebody that loves them. Some of the events that they get to do is because somebody that loves them had a say so in it. I think that it could be a good way for children to take education more seriously because they know that their mom and their teacher are going to collaborate on homework, on tests, on anything that they need. They feel as if teacher is not just this distant person that I see from 7:30 to 3 o'clock or 2:30, and then that's it. They know that, hey, my mom is texting my teacher or she's messaging my teacher because I didn't understand last night's homework, and they're gonna figure out how to get it to me. I think it builds each child's self-esteem to know that together somebody cares about them. And I think that it also is a good look for the community as well, to know that you have someone where you have a group of people, which are the parents, rooting for the school to be safe in its environment, rooting for community support, where if they have a local grocery store in the school, they know, hey, we can go and give our money to this school versus trying to find a last minute charity. Let's just do it at the school.
Right.
And all of those things come from the voices of parents.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the children benefit from it.
Right.
So I think that that's the main thing is it boosts kids' self-esteem. It reminds them that someone cares for them and the community cares for them as well.
That's good. And that's important that the students, because if they don't feel good about themselves, then it just, knocks everything else off. So that's good. And also, I always talk about stakeholders, the community stakeholders, getting them involved. That's good as well. So I want to tell you again, thank you so much. I feel like you just right in the middle of my research, things that I've been reading, you said it all. And I'm so grateful to have you and have this opportunity to be able to interview you tonight. And again, I want to tell you, thank you. I know your background, I know your passion for education, for students, and especially for your children. So again, thank you for your time. And I will continue to be reaching out to you for further help if I need it, or assistance if I need to do some surveys, whatever I need. I'm grateful that I can call on you.
Thank you so much. Anytime.
Thank you.